Hey guys, this is just an update about the state of the channel essentially. Frisk decided to join me just as I was about to start recording, so that's a little treat for all of you until she gets fed up. So as many of you know from my last video, I went to Japan and it was an incredible time. It was really just an amazing trip, and I'm not going to go so far as to say life-changing experience, but an experience that has helped me to reevaluate certain things and get kind of certain priorities straight in a sense. So even before going, I was studying Japanese, as I mentioned in the video, and got a little more intense with it the 6 months leading up to it after I knew that I was going. However, still nowhere near as much as I should have, and that was made perfectly clear when I got there and didn't know nearly as much as I was kind of thought I did. Now though, I'm putting in multiple hours every single day and really kind of going hard on the studying, to the point of maybe I'll even study kind of formally in like university or something like that next year. And another thing that's happening next year is I'm going back to Japan for a month, so that's also going to be amazing. If you want to know more kind of details about Japan and how the actual trip was, then go to Bed and Breakfast, which is its own channel now. It's still being streamed live on the Ben Beats Game Twitch, but I'll put a link in the description for the new YouTube channel, which is where all of the VODs are going to be hosted on. And yeah, because Ben hadn't been following my trip at all, he knew nothing about it, so it's me essentially going through all these photos and videos of it with him, and that's been that was really nice and very fun. So yeah, that's actually stretched out over multiple podcasts because there was so much to talk about during the 2 weeks. Because of this kind of prioritization of learning Japanese, it means that videos and such are kind of going to have to go on the back burner, which is kind of what they've felt like for a little while now anyway. As much as I haven't wanted them to, and as much as I have really put effort into making some damn good videos and editorials this year in terms of like the Kingdom Hearts stuff, and even the last videos, I was really happy with how that turned out, even though it was just a little one. It still takes time to make things like that. So because I really want to become proficient in this language, and especially before going back there in April next year, I'd really like to be at the level of I can actually have a decent conversation with a Japanese person. That would be amazing. So, you know, I'm not being blocked off at stage one. I had some nice conversations with like 1 or 2 people whilst I was over there, because they knew a tiny bit of English, and the bit of Japanese, we kind of made it work. It was really sweet. And Frisk is off, what did I say? So that was lovely, but next time I'd really like to have a fully fledged conversation, something like that. That would just be really nice. That's the goal. And also the goal is to maybe become an interpreter or a translator or something like that. I would really like to just kind of get more involved in the culture in the country, because after going there, I really like it. I love it. Although I'm well aware that part of that is because the worst part of Japan is probably the work ethic and the work culture surrounding you know, the workplace and how intense it is, and that's the one bit that you really don't need to deal with when you're on holiday. So who knows if I'll actually move there or whatever. And all of this isn't to say that there's going to be no videos whatsoever. If something comes up that I'm super passionate about, that I see or I play, that I can't stop thinking about and I need to get my thoughts out there, then maybe it won't be as highly edited as certain things I've been in the past, like the Kingdom Hearts stuff, where I put in like 70 hours of editing alone, because I just simply don't have the time. But I will try and make something that kind of expresses that and gets those feelings out there, because I mean, my biggest video is still the one on John Wick, which is far from my most edited one. It was still scripted and all of that good stuff, but in terms of editing, it was quite minimal, but people still seem to like it. So maybe something more in the vein of that, and not because that's the most popular, but because it shows that it's more what I'm saying rather than necessarily the entire presentation. As much as I really like to make nicely presented videos, that's kind of a skill that I'd like to develop after I've gotten better at this more important skill, you know, knowing another language, which I feel is a little more applicable to what I kind of want to do moving forward, and it has more of a line, a path, rather than, hey, hope I get lucky and this video gets a bunch of views or whatever, which is not a viable strategy for life. And of course there might still be streams and stuff from time to time, like if it's a game that I'm going to play anyway, a lot of the times playing it on stream is always just kind of added to my enjoyment anyway, so if you guys still want to chat and interact with me in any way, then that's usually a really good way to do that. So again, links to Twitch and all that kind of stuff will be in the description. Even stuff like streams and the easier stuff is still going to be more scarce, because learning a new language, especially one like Japanese, and I've also already started on kanji, you know, the one that has like 10,000 characters, even though you only need to know like 2,200, it's nothing, it's fine. But yeah, it's quite challenging, and it requires a lot of time and dedication, and I'm trying my best to improve my self-discipline and to put that time and dedication in, because I've been kind of on and off for over a year now, and the fact that I still am interested in it and I still care about it and it's still something that I really want to do shows that finally, kind of for me at least, I've found another sort of passion that actually has more applications in modern day society, rather than just, hey, I really like talking about films and games, because so does everybody. But something that I'd really love to do after I come back to making videos and maybe streaming more after, you know, becoming more proficient in Japanese, is to do videos and streams of Japanese games. Things that haven't been translated, things that haven't come to the West yet, would be really interesting. Yakuza, maybe some Persona stuff, you know, JRPGs, I know some Phoenix Wright games have never been ported over. So if I'm able to do like live streams of like live translating those as we go through it, or videos on like differences in translations and like interesting little quirks, stuff like that, either mistranslations or very literal ones, or ones that the translators have taken more liberties with, because the language is so different. I'd love to get to the point where I am knowledgeable enough to make something like that, and I think that's more of a unique take and a unique video style to do, rather than just a guy does a video editorial about a thing that he likes, which, don't get me wrong, I really enjoy doing that, because I enjoy talking about and putting people onto things that I really enjoy. I think one of the few video types that I might still really try and get out by the end of the year, because I definitely didn't do it at the end of last year, is like top 10s. Just talking about my favourite, and again, maybe not the most highly edited things, but just talking about my favourite games, movies and albums of the year. I would really like to do that. Like so far, I can easily say that Igor from Tyler the Creator is probably my favourite album of the year so far, but there's been a ton that have come out. So that's basically it. This channel isn't fully dead, but it is on sleep mode, pretty much, and if that means you want to unsubscribe, then I totally understand it. However, you're not really gonna get inundated with anything other than the occasional video if you do stay subscribed, so there's no harm in it. Just stick around. The same with the Twitch. Yeah, if you want to keep following me there and keep seeing what I get up to and all that, then that's most welcome. I'll also leave a link to my Instagram, which is very weird for me, in the description, because whenever I go traveling or whatever, that's usually the place where I post all the kind of travel pictures and stuff like that. So if you want to follow me there, then feel free, but I'm not really the biggest social media user anyway, at least outside of YouTube, which is mainly just for watching and making stuff for you guys, which will still happen, but just more rarely, because yeah, I found something that is quite important, and I would really like to get really fucking good at it, and then come back to you guys and be like, hey, this is what I know, and let's make some cool new shit with it, with that knowledge. And it feels really good to be learning again and kind of educating, and you know, because being out of the education system for a while it's quite freeing and satisfying, but then your brain slowly starts to kind of fizzle and feel like it's not getting used enough. And now it is again, and it's really satisfying to be doing that. It's really cool. The podcast will still continue. That's going to be, if you want regular videos of me and other Ben, then that's the place to go for it, because that's still going to be like a bi-weekly thing. We'll try and still get those out when we can. So if you still want to hear our general thoughts about all the goings on, things that we've been playing and watching, and industry news and stuff like that, then that would be the place to do it. So it's not like my opinions on things are not going to be far off or hard to find still. They'll just be in kind of a podcast form, which, I mean, just find a YouTube MP3 downloader player if you just want to listen to it. Totally fine. Although I wouldn't recommend that for the Japanese podcast, because we look through photos and videos. So yeah, unless you want to fall asleep to it, by all means, we don't mind being your background noise. That's all. Thank you so much, everybody, for all of your support over the years. I'm sorry that this is not, hey, we're making way more now. It's the opposite, but hopefully in the long run it will pay off for me and my personal growth and all of that, very actually important stuff. And then maybe in the long run, better actual videos and content will actually come out of it further down the line, when I get better at a very challenging language. So yeah, thanks everybody for watching. I'll see you next time.